Welcome back, everyone. This is Return to Tennis, and this is Retro Racket Roundup Part 2. So what do we got today? All right, I got some nice ones today. One of my favorites, okay? I've been hitting the Astuza Power Beam, right? But it's 348 grams. I've decided, I actually wrenched my elbow really badly about 2 weeks ago. I had to take about 10 days and not hit because of it. But I just love the feel of those rackets. This one is the Puma Super, the Boris Becker. Same mold, same design, little bit, only a touch lighter. The Astuza right now is at 348. This is 346, not a big difference. It has the PCS handle adjustment system. I figured out how it works. I re-gripped it and I actually taped it so it wouldn't shift. But what you do is you unscrew this, the screw drops down, and then the entire handle shifts. So you can actually extend this to like 28 or 28 and a half inches. Kind of a neat concept. It's on the docket today. We're hitting it. But that's not all. I've got another Puma. This will be the third Puma that we've done as part of our retro racket reviews. It is another Puma Davis Cup. Same head shape, same head size as the Super, the Winner, the Astuza Power Beams, all same mold. Layup is different. No PCS handle on this one. The handle does not shift. It is a stationary piece. We're going to compare this and see how it feels next to the Super, and how does it feel compared to the Astuza, because they all came from the same basic mold. That one, that Puma's running 342. From there, we're going to go up in weight. It's big. Not as big as that Pro Kenix in the last episode, but we came across this the other day at Play It Again Sports. A Yonex Rex King 22, the R22. 90 square inch head, isometric of course. This is somewhere in the 80s that this was made. The leather grip on it is actually original and is in very, very good condition, minus I had to peel the Turna over grip off of it. It was bad. It still needs a little cleaning. But 354 grams for this bat. Played Against Sports, 15 bucks. Just happened to walk in just to see what they had. I was in the area. I was shopping down the street. I was like, let's check it out. And there it was hanging. I was like, holy crap, it's an R22. And it's in pretty good condition. If you look at the head there, it's really not scuffed up very badly. No head guard. They didn't have head guards on them back then. Not all of them. Neither of the Pumas do either. We're going to get out and try to swing that one. That's going to be, I predict I will be very late swinging that. Final one for today. I was really excited that I found another one of these. It is a Slazenger Pro Braided, Tim Henman Pro Braided, 1999. I came across a collector who was offloading stuff out of his collection. He had two of them. I took them both. This one's a little beat up. This is probably the most beat up of the two. The other one's actually in much better shape. It's really nice. And then, of course, I have one from 2004, new old stock, still in the plastic. This and both the Pumas have been strung with Ohm's Alu Pearl Rough. The Yonex, we're hitting it as is. We're not going to restring that one. But let's get out and see how these goes. It's going to be fun. Here we go, guys. Kicking things off with the Puma Boris Becker Super. About 1985, thereabouts. Same, as I said, same basic mold design and shape as the Astuza Power Beam. But this one, it does feel a little different. I feel like it is a little softer. The Astuza runs at about a 61 RA. This is probably feeling like a 58 or less. I don't know the specs on these frames. I've heard mixed things. I've read some information online. And in terms of like flex, for example, and weight, I've gotten some conflicting information. I actually have another one of these that I got from Europe, sent over, and I won't be hitting that one. This one, strings regripped, came in at 346 grams. The other one that I got from Europe, completely stripped down to the pallet, still weighed over 360 grams. I don't know why it was such a huge difference. I put some information out there online in the forums and asked about it. I guess there was a heavier version that was available that they made back then, and that's what I got, because I was expecting a second one of these, and completely different frame in terms of weight. That one's going to be a wall hanger, I think. But once I get kind of a little more dialed in with this racket, it just feels so good. I really wish these rackets were still around in some fashion. Like, you cannot find anything these days with this kind of feel, this kind of precision. I would like I would like a racket like this, but maybe at around 330 grams strung. The 348 range, it's just too much for my arm to play consistently, or for any longer duration. It's just too much stress. But man, I just love how it feels. Once I get it dialed in a little bit, which I'm still working on here, it really does feel nice, and it is a very precise racket. Like, it's really good. Once you get in and do a groove with it, you can kind of hit the ball wherever you want. But oh, I do love it. I wish it was lighter. Great frame. No head guard on it, so it's a little scraped up, but if you get a chance to hit one, or can get your hands on one, they're out there. It's actually easier to find these than it is the Stuzas. You should definitely jump on it. So that's the Super. We're going to switch out now, and we're going to snatch up the Puma Davis Cup, which is the same mold design, different layup. This one is actually at 342 grams, and oddly enough, I could feel the weight difference right away. It did not have the same kind of initial plow through that the Super had. But once I got a little more accustomed to the change in the weight, I didn't have as many problems with it. I actually like it quite well. It's, of course, it's very similar to the Super, and which is also very similar to the Puma Winner. I have another one of those, and it's won't be hit either, because I stripped it down and it was 360 some grams, so forget that. But the Davis Cup edition was nice, very nice. I would say that it's a little softer than the Super, that it might be a lower flex. It kind of feels like it is, or maybe that's just because of the difference in the weight that I'm feeling. But it does feel like it plays a little lighter, a little softer in the frame. Of course, neither of them produce any real frame vibration. Even mishit balls still feel pretty solid, and it's because they have so much mass. I really wish Puma was still around making rackets. I kind of feel like at the time these were being made, they were underappreciated. I don't think people really understood or realized how great these frames were until much, much later, after they were already gone from the market and Puma had basically shut the doors on their tennis division. It wasn't until probably late 90s and into the 2000s when people started picking them up cheap and hitting them that I think they really kind of realized how great these rackets are. Puma, bring them back. The Stuzas not doing anything with them. Puma, bring them back. But maybe bring them back at about 330 grams strung. Maybe like a 305, a 310 kind of weight. Static weight, that'd be good. But again, like, feels good, feels a little bit softer, but once you get a nice groove for it, not that one. Fairly controlled, precise. Oh, that was nice. That felt good too. But you can start to see, as I get a better rhythm for it, I'm starting to just kind of hit the ball anywhere into the court that I want. We're keeping this short. about 40 balls a racket. I don't want a 45-minute video. That's the Davis Cup. And now to the monster, the massive racket, 90 square inch, 354 grams, Yonex R22, known as the Rex King 22. Yeah, this is, ugh. It feels good. I mean, in terms of stability, it's very solid. Like, no vibration, of course, a lot of mass like the other two. But I'm really late on some of these balls. It's not as bad as the Prokenix. I will say it hits better and it feels better than the Prokenix for sure. But the weight is still way too high for me at this point. Not a modern game kind of racket. There we go. Just a lot of weight. But like I said, it's comfortable in terms of vibration, dampening, maneuverability, how it comes through the air. It feels good. It's just really slow and heavy to swing. That wasn't a bad ball. But I'm going to have a whole string of them here where I'm just way out the back of the court or into the fence, and a lot of it's because I'm so late coming around. And then I'm trying to adjust the ball. There's a little bit better. Yeah, like that. I just sent that one. It still clears the net, though. It still lands in the box. Oh, my gosh. But it is a hefty stick. It's crazy to think that there's another one. Yeah, just so late. There it is in the box. It's really crazy to think when I was 16, 17, 18, all the way up to in my 20s, I was playing rackets routinely that were this heavy and never really had any effect on me. Now I forget it. There's no way. It is just too much stress on the joints, and especially on my elbow. Late. Ugh. I bet you can guess which racket's not going in the bag. It's going to be the Yonex. It's not going in. It's back in the storage. It will go. But it played against Sports for $15, and it's in excellent condition, despite being over 30 years old. That's a great deal. That is a great find. Really glad I came across it. We've got one left, guys. We're going to switch it out. Pulling out the lightest racket of the bunch. This is the 1999 Slazenger Tim Henman Pro Braided. With strings and overgrip, it is sitting at 328 grams. And I struggled with this. I went from hitting rackets that were 340 plus to under 330, and suddenly, it became a lot more difficult to get the ball across the net. I'm going to have to really swing now. Those other rackets, as long as I made solid contact and a good follow through, the ball would go because they had so much weight behind them. But this one, I really got to kind of whip through it a little bit. That was a nice inside out slice. Comfortable. It's a 95 square inch racket. It was, I think it was a Kevlar and graphite braided setup on this one. Not too heavy. I mean, it's very nice feeling racket. But I'm not too sure. I think I need some more time with this one. I don't know if this is something I'd put in the bag. I kind of feel like I will, but I'm going to have to hit a little bit more first. Oh, that was a good ball. Now, none of these rackets are on the schedule for me to play in matches. I actually am registering to play a UTR event this coming Saturday. The racket I have been using to practice with the last 2 weeks, and I've been out hitting it on the machine as well, is none of these. It's actually a racket I have not reviewed yet. I wanted to have some time with it and get a feel for it. I'm definitely going to play it this weekend in my matches and see how it goes. We'll probably have a review of it up next week. I'll let you guys see what it is. If you're following me over at Instagram, you'll know before the review comes out what I played, though. A little two-hander into the net. A little scoop pick up there. There we go. That wasn't too bad. The Slosinger is not a bad racket at all. I like it. As I said earlier, I have 3 of these now. I have 2 from 1999. This second one is in much better condition than this one. And I have 1 from 2004 that is new old stock, still in the plastic. So it's gorgeous too. I mean, we're not stringing it. We've got these ones instead. Here we go. It does definitely feel a little weird to hit this one after hitting the other 3 because they're just so much heavier. But that's going to be it for us today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have something else probably next week. Get off the couch, get on the courts, and we'll see you next time.